Now is a good time to really put into context how many mass shootings there have been in the United States of this in this year. We're not even done with January of 2023, although we're almost there, just 3 more days left to go. Today is January 28th, and we have already had 43 mass shootings in this country within the 28 days of January. Bunch of them have made national news. The latest one is today, the 28th, where in near Beverly Hills, California, LA, there was a mass shooting where 3 people were killed and 4 people were injured, and that making national news is well, one, just because of the location, and two, 3 people dead, 4 people injured is a significant amount of people killed and injured combined, but it's important to look at the broader context and look at all of these shootings that don't make national news. And Gun Violence Archive does a very good job of tracking all of these and putting them in places where we can view the incident and also view the source that talks about the specific details of the shootings. So each page on here has 25 shootings. Page two has 18. So that means we 25 plus 18, 43. That's how many mass shootings we've had so far in the U.S. this year. But it's very crazy to think about, just putting into perspective. Like no one really heard about this one in Lancaster, Pennsylvania yesterday, besides people who lived in that area. But we had 4 people injured. Thankfully, no one killed. Or this one in New York 2 days ago, one person injured, one person killed, and 4 people injured. The only ones that have been making national news are mostly in California. The one today that I previously mentioned, the one at Half Moon Bay, which was about a workplace dispute. Guy came into his old workplace that he had disputes with some of the employees and killed 7 of them, injured one, and then the biggest one was the one in Monterey Park where an Asian American man went to some type of party location on Lunar New Year's Eve and killed 12 people. Tried to go to a second location and kill more, but a hero was able to wrestle the gun away from him, and the man killed himself before the police could capture him. And another one in California that also was pretty prominent was in Ghostin, where we had 6 people killed in that one. So California, especially, has been having a lot of mass shootings this year. But when we hear all of these individual stories about shooting here, that have been commonplace, it's important to look at the broader context of where we are as a country in terms of gun violence, and we see all of these major events that just don't make national news because they happen so frequently. It would just People would just see them as repeat stories over and over again. 400 here, 400 here, 3 people killed here, 4 people killed here. It just would become repetitive. But if this was happening in other countries, any one of these would make national news just because of how um rare they are. And you go back, as I was saying before, go to the second page, you'll see even more dating all the way back to New Year's Day, where there were what six mass shootings just on New Year's Day of this year. So it's a crazy country we live in, and gun violence has continued to increase and increase um as the years go by. And obviously it's a problem that everyone is trying to stop, and no one likes mass shootings. And it's always a legislative fight, the two sides arguing what exactly needs to be done and what shouldn't be done in order to prevent these mass shootings and to prevent gun violence, death in a broader context with individual shootings that don't make this mass shooting list. And of course, that number is way higher than the 43 mass shootings that we have so far in January.